It's that time of year again where we're all wondering what we're gonna post on social media in order to achieve our goals out into this new year. And as part of the newly launched social media series on this channel, I wanted to specifically answer that question for Instagram today. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Brock Wonder, and on this channel, we talk about all of the information that you need around content marketing and content creation to be successful on social media. Having grown my own social media presence to over 250,000 across multiple social media platforms, I've learned a few things along the way, as well as helped a lot of different brands be able to leverage social media for their business. And I want this channel to be able to share those insights with you so that you can do the same. By the end of this video, you're gonna have a beginning stage social media and content marketing strategy to be able to start leveraging the new Instagram correctly. And with that, it brings me to the first part of today's video. Let's talk about what we should be posting on Instagram if we want to grow our accounts. There are 5 content types, and each of them have a specific role in building an engaged community. The first one is the single image post. This means photo first, not video. You'll want to use these sparingly. These posts primarily establish who you are and what niche you're in. Second are carousel posts. These are used to build deeper, more meaningful connections with your audience and are really the primary tool to increase engagement rates on your account. Third are Instagram Reels. No shock here, these are primarily used to build brand awareness, and getting good engagement on them is a little bit hit or miss, but you can get a ton of new views for your account. So use them to grab new attention. Fourth are stories. This is the most important format to build a meaningful relationship with your following. Take them along the way to how you're authentically living your life in order to push past that more curated aesthetic that we're sharing to our feeds. And finally are lives. A little bit of a mixed bag with lives, but great for using in Q&As. It really depends on your following and how you want to go about connecting with them. Now, every account, whether you're a brand or a creator on Instagram, needs a social media marketing strategy in order to get the most out of what they're posting, to actually use the proper content formats and styles for the platform. And we will make a separate video on how to actually go about creating a more overarching social media strategy and content marketing plan. But in today's video, we'll be building an Instagram Lite version, specifically for you to take away and actually use. Everything we post needs to be intentional and purposeful in order to build a strong community and use the platform correctly, which comes down to creating what's called a healthy content mix of the formats that I just mentioned, so that we're not only bringing new eyes to our presence, but we're also engaging those people in order to build a deeper connection with what we're sharing and who we are on the platform. So we're going to be starting with the basics. Before we can take advantage of the styles that I mentioned, we need to start by picking our niche. Specifically for Instagram, they will help you push your content easier to the correct audience if it knows exactly what you're trying to do. It will find the people looking for answers to the problem that you're solving through those content topics. If you don't know what niche to pick for your social media, here's how to narrow it down. First, write whatever it is that you're interested in down on a piece of paper and eliminate any of those topics that you're not already sharing on your own personal social media pages. Then, of the remaining topics, eliminate any of the activities that aren't highly visual. For example, you might be extremely passionate about environmental issues, but if you don't have a way to visually show what those issues are, it's not going to be a great niche for using on majority of the social platforms and really Instagram. Third is to then choose the topic that you know most about or are most interested in learning more of. As long as you pick a niche that you won't get bored of over time and be able to build a business and community around that topic, you will be successful on Instagram. So now let's assume we have our niche and we are ready to start experimenting with our content formats. Before we can actually start posting, we need to make sure that our profile is optimized correctly to be able to be discovered by new people. And this next part of the video really comes down to enabling us and our accounts to be more easily discovered. Instagram's original way of helping us was through the use of hashtags. You would pick a hashtag that had a strong community going into every day, commenting on posts, or going into a hashtag on a topic that you might be super interested in, and then finding new creators through that. But as social media has matured across all platforms, the usage of hashtags has changed along with it. And now their purpose is meant to be used a little bit differently, which means that the way we need to get our content seen by new people has changed along with it. We need to figure out how to make those algorithms work for us, not against us, and help them push our content along the way. So after all of this, you're probably wondering, do hashtags even matter anymore? one big focus for Instagram has been to improve the searchability of the content on the platform. And you can help your account be found through hashtags, but their purpose has changed. We need to treat hashtags like keywords. And by using keywords throughout your profile, you'll be able to take advantage of how hashtags are currently working for accounts. So let's say you're a photographer like me. You need to put that in your profile bio in order to increase the searchability. For when someone's looking for a photographer, you'll be someone that pops up on the feed first. For every post that you have, the hashtags that you use need to be treated like keywords that describe what the post is actually about. This way, Instagram can more easily identify what it is and send that post to people who are interested in those keywords. So what's the proper way to use hashtags in order to get the most out of them? The best way to use hashtags on Instagram is by first creating incredible content for the platform. This way, more people will engage with what you're posting because it's good, and this will increase the engagement rate to over 8 to 10%, meaning Instagram will recommend that content to more and more people until the engagement rate starts dropping because it's being sent to disinterested audience because we're just running out of people. And what's good about this is that Instagram has an explore page, which still functions as it was initially intended, just is recommending content differently than what previously was. And so as your content gets recommended to more and more people through the feed or through Reels, it will also get recommended to more people through the explore page and be more easily discovered. There are a number of different ways to increase the discoverability of your content, and we can also make a separate video about that. So how can we make incredible content for Instagram in order to pass that first rung to then being recommended to new audiences? Well, it really goes to understanding what niche it is that you're participating in. The creative bar is very niche specific, and you can either choose to exceed it or participate within it. It's really up to you how you want to provide value to your audience that you're trying to grow. So incredible content could mean how visually good something looks if you're a filmmaker, or it could mean how much value you're providing as a marketer. It could also mean how useful your videos are if you're a chef providing recipe ideas, or how funny you are if you're a comedian. Our primary job as Instagram content creators is to understand that core value piece of why people are actually paying attention to that specific content and then figure out how to kind of reinvent the wheel. This will be the thing that makes you competitive and will make you somebody that's unique enough to be followed. I'll be doing a future video on how to go about doing competitive research and doing an audit as well. So be sure to keep your eyes out for that. There are best practices that carry over throughout all niches though. And as content creators, we need to know what they are. Each content format has its own way of doing things, and we need to understand those intricacies. But again, this is a separate video on actual content marketing. And for this one, probably most of your questions will be around Instagram Reels. And so we will go ahead and break that down. The trick to making any reel get over 50,000 views is by following this basic format. First, you need to get your hook right. What are you saying in the first 2 seconds of your video that's going to entice someone to watch the rest of it? Second is the middle of your content. This is what's going to make your video actually pop, and does so based on how you present information or entertain your audience in varying formats. This can be done through formatting the middle in step-by-steps, like first, second, third. It could be done by drawing a theme out of a beautiful landscape and waiting till the end. And the content format that you most often pick will be what your audience comes to expect from you every time you post. I've made a reel about this recently, breaking down these specific formats to help give you some ideas on how you need to format your reels. So you can check that out on my shorts, Instagram, or TikTok. And finally then is your ending call to action. Do you loop your videos, or do you tell people to follow you every time you sign off? Each has an impact on how people engage with your video. Okay, so assuming we now know what our niche is, we understand how to make our content more discoverable, and we have a loose idea around content formats and understanding there are specific sub niches in how we format our content. The time has come to discuss tactics to help increase our reach every time we post. The variable with the highest ROI is actually our posting time. Do you need to worry anymore about what time you post on social media? Kind of. Let me explain. The amount of engagement that you get in the first 1 to 3 hours of posting on Instagram will tell Instagram how good your content actually is. And getting this to happen will be easier for you if there are more of your followers online at your time of posting. But it doesn't mean you can't post off peak. What you need to do is look at your Instagram analytics. Find the time that most of your followers are both on and offline. Test posting within both of them. And as I found with my own content, if I post at night, it stays pretty flat throughout the evening, but as everyone wakes up, it gets a big boost of engagement and then will carry through as a higher engagement rate than it would have if I posted at a peak time right before everybody fell asleep. So it really depends on you and your audience and your understanding of how they like to engage with your content. And okay, because this video is also getting a little bit lengthy and because it is so much ground to cover, the next part of this video is a recommended Instagram content marketing strategy that you can implement immediately to start your Instagram game strong in 2023. This way, you'll never have to wonder, how much should you post on Instagram if you want to grow a new account? Let's lay out the week in front of us. You're going to post 5 to 7 times a week on the main feed. 2 of those are carousels, 1 of those is a single post, and the remainder are reels. Reels will help new people find your account, and carousels and single posts will re-engage them to build a deeper, more meaningful connection. This will increase your engagement rate over time. Now, you're gonna post 3 to 5 stories a day, and it could be anything that you do throughout that day. What you eat for breakfast, what your gym routine was. The point is to take your potential audience along with you for the journey, to establish a more human connection than just somebody posting content on the screen. After a month of doing this, do 1 Instagram live a week of Q&As, comment on 20 to 30 different accounts within your niche every day to help engage with your community. But quickly, the last part of today's video, because everybody still cares about gear and what they need to be shooting with in order to get high quality content, is do you need a $4,000 camera plus, or does an iPhone work just fine for creating content on Instagram? It's really niche dependent. For a filmmaker, you're obviously gonna need a camera. You want that crisp, slow motion B-roll with amazing capabilities to color grade, versus if you're filming a nice day in the life as a fitness influencer, you can get some seriously great work done with just an iPhone. In whichever niche you're in, you need to understand if visuals are really important or if they're more so following you for you, because iPhones are strikingly stunning. And for 90% of people can really get the job done based on what they need to share with their following to engage with them more. Obviously, gear recommendations change if you're posting for YouTube or TikTok. There are a ton of filmmakers on TikTok rocking iPhones and doing an incredible job creating content, versus YouTube tends to be a little bit more production quality dominant. And these platforms obviously require a strategy of their own, which brings me to the beginning of this video. If you found this Instagram 101 super helpful, be sure to follow along too. And if you think I missed anything on what a 101 needs to cover to be able to take those actionable steps to begin posting, comment down below, let me know what you want to see, and I will be happy to make a video about it. We'll go deeper in the 102 video, really start getting more tactical on those little nuances. But if there's anything that I can just recommend, it's start posting after you pick a niche, optimize your profile to be seen, and experiment with different content formats based on the niche that you're in to be able to increase your potential reach. So with that, I'm going to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.